there have been a lot of attempts in defining the word tourism. Hello dear students, my name is Ms. Jasmin and I am your instructor for macro tourism. So first, I'd like to officially welcome you to our subject. I hope that you are all safe wherever you are. I hope that you have a good access to the internet. I hope that we can all get used to the virtual classes as well. In as much as we want to see each other face to face, I know that the learning experience in school and at home can be different, but I really hope that you can find the time and focus to proceed with your classes even if you are at home. And on my part as your instructor, I will try my best to give you the information that you need to give you our lectures the best way that I can virtually. So now, before I start with Module 1, I would like to share to you first that I will be basing all of my lectures through the course syllabus that was given by our school. So please kindly read through it, and if you'd like to study in advance, I do use the books that are referenced here. So you can see here that there are textbook references. And I do have the book of Zenaida Cruz, which has always been used by many schools, in fact. So we will mostly be getting the information here. But also, I use this one. This is also macro perspective of tourism and hospitality, but this one is by Disimulacion. This one is by Disimulacion. Okay, this copyright is 2019. This one by Zenaida Cruz is a 2018 copyright. I believe that our school referenced more of our topics here in this book. So if you want to participate in discussions in class, or if you want to read ahead, study ahead, this is the book that you may want to read. Okay. Dynamic, complex, interconnected. These are the most common adjectives used to describe the global tourism industry. It brings together a vast network of products and services, processes, businesses, and people from all walks of life. To be a successful tourism and hospitality professional, you need to develop several skills. The ability to synthesize, review, and analyze information helps you make more appropriate decisions that reduce, if not totally eliminate, any potential harm to a destination and the community. This enables you to strategically position a tourism product or organization for profitability and sustainability. In addition, the ability to think quickly helps you provide exceptional guest service. Categorized as either learning, literacy, or life skills, the following attributes represent skills needed in the 21st century: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, flexibility, problem solving. This is the very reason why macro tourism is very important to your course. This subject will provide you the most basic concepts of tourism, the definitions, the terminologies that you should learn, and information relevant to your understanding of the industry. This is the very foundation. According to UNWTO, or what we call United Nations World Tourism Organization, this is the definition of tourism. Tourism comprises of the activities traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year, for leisure, business, and other purposes not related to the exercise of an activity remunerated from within the place visited. Before the standard definition by UNWTO was published, there have been a lot of attempts in defining the word tourism. So here are some of the attempts that have been made in the past. Number one is that of Professor Hunziker and Kraft of Bern University in Switzerland. They said that the definition of tourism is the sum of phenomena and relationships arising from the travel and stay of non-residents insofar as they do not lead to permanent residence and are not connected to any earning activity. So, ang focus po ng definition na ito ay ang pagkakaiba ng tourism sa migration, which involves taking up permanent residence. Kapag si traveler, wala ng sense of exploration, wala ng sense of adventure, routinary na ang mga ginagawa niya dahil alam na niya ang mga nasa paligid niya, parang residente na siya. But apart from that, ikinoconsider din natin yung duration or length of stay ng traveler sa isang destination or sa isang lugar. Kapag masyado ka ng mahaba sa isang taon, katulad ng sinabi ng UNWTO, if you have stayed in a destination for more than 1 year, then that means that you may be considered as a resident of that destination. You may want to just pause and screenshot this part. These are just some additional information I found about Professor Hunziker and Kraft, whom we can say are the forefathers of tourism education. So there's one more definition which is quite popular or widely used in our industry. This one is a definition by the Tourism Society in Britain. Tourism is a temporary short-term movement of people to destinations outside the places where they normally live or work and their activities during their stay at these destinations. Now, this definition makes a lot of sense. However, some experts find it incomplete. If you read through books or if you read through articles online, makikita ninyo that they have different ways of defining tourism. This is one of the best ones. Marami siyang tinama rito, marami siyang na-check. Pero meron siyang kulang. This definition was reformulated by the Tourism Society in Cardiff. Tourism may be defined in terms of particular activities selected by choice and undertaken outside the home environment. If you look into the internet and type the word tourism, dito ninyo makikita na may iba't ibang version ng definition. And here is where it will get a little confusing. So, let's go here and click on the glossary of terms by UNWTO. Ito talaga yung pinaka-common na ginagamit natin. But here, on their website, you will see ang sabi nila, tourism is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon which entails the movement of people to countries or places outside their usual environment for personal or business or professional purposes. A revised definition from what is written in books. Now, later on, i-discuss natin yan at hihimayin natin. Pero kung ibababa natin ng konti at titignan natin ang salitang tourism, in its simplest way, UNWTO says that tourism refers to the activity of visitors, plain and simple. Now, let's go back and check out another website's definition. Let's try this one by Wikipedia. Kapag ang estudyante sinabihan na mag-research, ang isa sa mga unang website na pinupuntahan ay Wikipedia. So here, tingnan naman natin kung papaano define ang tourism dito. Tourism is travel for pleasure or business. Correct. Also, the theory and practice of touring. Correct. The business of attracting, accommodating, and entertaining tourists, and the business of operating tours. So if you will notice in the website of Wikipedia, tourism is explained more specifically in terms of business and how travelers are accommodated through entertainment and services. Okay. So what I would like you to notice is that even if you click on to different websites or research on books, iba-iba yung definition ng tourism. So nothing is consistent in defining tourism. Bakit kaya ganito? Yun yung question. So bakit iba-iba ang versions, kumbaga? As a student, you may be confused here on this part dahil alin ba rito yung tama, alin ba rito yung susundin natin. And that is why this video is important because in this video, I will reveal to you the elements of tourism. Dahil kahit na iba-iba ang versions na makita ninyo, ang importante kung alam ninyo kung ano yung mga elements or things to consider on how to define tourism, then you can find your way on defining your own version of the word tourism. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let me show to you another website. This one is by a tourism expert and academician. Her name is Dr. Haley Stainton. She is an amazing expert in tourism. She's got her own YouTube channel. I follow her. She is wonderful. So what I like about this video is that here, she questioned why is the definition of tourism different from each other? Bakit iba-iba yung ating perspective? At bakit ba big deal? Bakit kailangan na meron lang tayong isang definition? So I'm going to put her link below. I'd like you to watch this video as well and learn more about her version of defining tourism. Burkhardt and Medlick in 1997 cited 5 main characteristics of tourism. So let's run through them very quickly. Number 1, because of its complexity, tourism is a combination of phenomena and relationships. Number 2 is that it has 2 essential elements. Number 1, there is what we call the dynamic element, which is the journey, and number 2, the static element, which is the stay. Number 3, the journey and stay are to and fro destinations outside the place of residence and work. Number 4, and I believe is one of the most important characteristics, is that the movement to destinations is temporary, short-term, maikli lang, with the intention to return within a few days, a few weeks, or a few months. Now, I will explain number 5 further, but this is one of the most important, so please take note of number 5. Again, destinations are visited for purposes not connected with paid work. Ibig sabihin, kung ang isang traveler ay magpupunta sa isang destinasyon para magtrabaho, it's not considered tourism. Because the money generated from tourism are mostly for leisure purposes, recreational purposes. So kung ang purpose ni traveler to go to that destination ay para maghanap ng trabaho, at yung destination na yun ang magbibigay sa kanya ng sweldo, ang magbibigay sa kanya ng pera, it's the other way around. It's not considered as an activity under tourism. Okay, let's put it this way. When a person saves money and says, nag-iipon ako para makarating ako ng Boracay, kaya nag-iipon ako para makapunta ako sa ibang bansa, kahit saang bansa pa yan. People tend to save money that they've worked hard for dahil alam nila na kapag nag-travel sila, gagastos at gagastos sila. Which means that tourism in its pure sense is really a pleasure activity or a leisure activity. Kung dito ka lang sa Pilipinas pupunta, sasakay ka lang ng Cebu Pacific, sasakay ka ng Philippine Airlines, pupunta ka ng Katiklan, pupunta ka ng Boracay, kayang-kaya. Pero kapag sinabi natin pupunta ka ng Japan, sa season ng mga cherry blossoms, medyo mas expensive, medyo mahirap yatang pag-ipunan, medyo matagal nating pag-iipunan. But people do that. That's the motivation for travel. And people are willing to spend money. Tourism is a business in its own form. It's a very good business. Dahil kahit alam ng tao na gagastos sila kapag nag-travel sila, people are willing to do that. And that is the business of tourism. So if people will be getting money from the destination instead, baliktad, pupunta ako doon, magdo-domestic helper si Mami. Si Mami ay magkakaroon ngayon ng pera at yung perang sinasave niya ay ipapadala niya sa Pilipinas, baliktad ang nangyari. It's not tourism, 'di ba? Hindi kumita yung bansa kay Mami. Ang nangyari, yung bansang yon ang nagbigay kay Mami ng sweldo na naipadala sa Pilipinas. Okay? Which is why in defining tourism, it is important to know also the motivation for travel. If it's not for leisure or recreation and you are there to work, then definitely it's not an activity under tourism. Elements of travel. 4 basic elements have been used as criteria for defining travelers and tourists. These are distance, length of stay at the destination, residence of the traveler, and purpose of travel. To distinguish the difference between the typical traveler and a tourist, these are some of the criteria to consider. So, meron tayong tinatawag na 4 basic elements. Isa na rito ay ang distance. Distance is the measure that has been used to distinguish travel away from home is the distance traveled on a trip. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung isang traveler, hindi basta-basta nating makukonsider na turista kung malalapit na lugar lang naman pala ang pinupuntahan niya. Ang measure na ginagamit natin is 100 miles away from origin. This definition may be applied in measuring travel by the residents of a country. Just to give you an idea how far is 100 miles, it's about 1.5 hour to 2 hours drive in regular speed, like 50 to 60 miles per hour. So here are two terms that are very important for you to remember: the word tourists and excursionists. The difference between the two is their length of stay in a destination. When we say excursionists, these are visitors who do not stay overnight in the country that they visited. Ang tawag natin sa kanila kung minsan mga backpackers. So they do go far, medyo malayo ang mga nararating nila, pero hindi sila nagsistay overnight in that destination. Unlike tourists who are also temporary visitors, but they stay in a destination at least one night or more. The third basic element of travel is the residence of the traveler. So this one is more self-explanatory. Of course, here we are talking about the origin of the traveler, or what we call the home base. This is an important information for us because this is how we can determine if a traveler is a local traveler, international traveler, if he's doing an outbound or inbound kind of travel. So for business and research purposes, it is really important to know where people came from or where people live. The purpose of travel or reasons for travel is definitely one of the most important elements. However, this is an entirely new topic on its own. We are all from different places and we have different cultures. Obviously, we have different reasons why we travel. Travel gives us the chance to be truly engaged in an activity, to develop new skills, and to discover new cultures, social relationships, to have an opportunity to grow, or to see family. Listed here are 7 classifications and powerful reasons why people travel. To my dear students, and to you watching this video, you are the future tourism and hospitality professionals. So now that you know the basic elements of travel, I hope this helps you determine the difference between travelers and tourists and tourism activities. In the future, when things are even more complex and advanced, I hope you can come up with your own unconventional yet progressive versions of the definition of tourism. I hope this video gives you a good foundation to the beginning of your careers in this dynamic industry. Always remember to keep up.
Sinabi kong unahan nagmadali kayo.
Thank you, dear students, for watching this video. I hope that you learned a thing or two. We have so much more to discuss face to face, so I'm really looking forward to more discussions with you. If you have time, do read ahead and study your modules because we're going to have an activity in our next session. I'm hoping that you can join our discussions. Don't be shy to participate. I would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so thank you so much and I'll see you in our class.